Good evening. A dam breach forced new evacuations and fresh anxiety here today, just as days of relentless rain and flooding began to subside.
The Palmetto State has been absolutely hammered over the past few days with rain. As you can see, the floods are devastating and heartbreaking.
We were married December 13th of 2014, so we've been married roughly 9 months when the flood occurred. So he deployed in June of 2015 to Afghanistan for a 10-month tour. We'd heard about the flood coming probably midweek that week. We knew heavy rains were expected. I never imagined we would flood. I fell asleep about midnight that Saturday night. Probably about 3 o'clock maybe, I started hearing the flash flood warnings coming through my cell phone. Kept ignoring them, just thought, okay, we're getting a lot of rain. Woke up about 4:30 to another flash flood warning through my cell phone. After getting up and seeing all the water coming in, a few moments later, I heard like some sounds of maybe an outlets were going to short out. Started to panic a little bit. Couldn't call Jimmy, he was in Afghanistan. The best I could do was send him an email, but with a 12-hour time difference, it was gonna be a good 12 to 14 hours before he saw it.
The first thing I almost always did every time I'd go to work is I'd check my email to see if Nicole had sent me an email or communicated while I was asleep, or everything was okay. And I remember opening up and there were several emails inside of my email, and almost every single one of them were just this frantic, call me now, the house is flooding, I don't know what to do, help me. And I remember my heart sank. I didn't really know how to react. I kind of freaked out a little bit.
I started gathering important documents. I grabbed everybody's birth certificate, social security cards, our marriage license, and put it on the bed because that was the highest thing in the house. We had water coming up to my mid-calf, so that was probably 6 inches coming in probably 20 to 30 minutes after waking up. When I went to leave the house, the water was up to my knees in the front yard.
It was at that point we had a TV in the area where we were working, and I turned on the news and it was just complete devastation. And it was so incredible because I'd never seen my home, Columbia, like that. 7,000 miles away from my family. I can't comfort my wife. I can't hold her. I can't hold my kids and tell them everything's gonna be okay. And it was hard. But I knew the first thing I needed to do was to call the insurance company.
So I received a call from Jimmy Loftus. He was a soldier stationed in Afghanistan, and I could tell by the tone of his voice that he was extremely desperate, and there's not much he could do from so far away.
Joel's voice was so calming. He could tell that I was upset and that I didn't really know what to do or what the next step was.
I said, Chris, we need to go out there and look at this house because he doesn't have time to wait for the insurance company.
We had to get out there as quickly as possible to get their personal property out of the house, as they only had building coverage on their flood policy.
And Chris and Joel offered to bring volunteers Friday, which they did. They said they'll be there at 9 o'clock in the morning. I pulled up at 5 minutes to 9, and they're already there with a full crew of people. They already had the carpets pulled up when I got there within a few hours. There were probably about 30 people that I had never met offering help to clear our belongings out of the house.
I always remember that both him and Chris were so helpful in say, hey, we're gonna make the calls for you. We're gonna call this person. We're gonna call this person, and don't worry about it. We got Nicole, and we're gonna help you guys, and we're gonna make sure that things get taken care of so that you can focus on what you're there to do. And over that time, there's been so many people in the community that have donated so many things. Joel and Chris at Carolina Insurance Group, I consider them our family now. And it's sometimes hard to sit here and think that just a year ago, we were in a situation where we didn't know where we were gonna live.
End of January of this year, 2016, we closed on our new house in Chapin. We're no longer in a flood zone, so we don't have to worry about any other damage like that occurring, and we basically got our dream house.